I don't know what to say, really.
Roethlisberger, the quarterback, was all fucking hug it, chug it, football all night.
Hot route! Red 7, red 7, red 7!
Look for me in the end zone after this play. I'll be the guy holding the ball.
John!
What?
Red 7!
I don't know what red 7 means.
Hot route!
I don't. What is hot route?
I know football. What you did with those boys. You were the right man for the job, coach.
You're Hall of Fame in my book.
Featherstones, off to the races.
Don't throw the stone,
Your seventh pick gives you what? A running back with a rap sheet?
You don't know who I'm picking, 7, Tom. I'm not going to sell the farm for one guy.
Well, you should. Your farm sucks.
Order sucks. It really, really sucks.
You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds.
Nerds! Come on!
I think we ought to tell Coach.
Hell no, you don't want to know about this.
Yeah!
Swenson protected well, lost one to the end zone. Tidwell, touchdown Cardinals.
Oh, what a great effort. Did you see him go up on that ball?
This is your opportunity
for
here.
you. Playing football at West Canaan may have been the opportunity of your lifetime, but I don't want your life.
Utah, give me 2.
What's up, everybody? I am Michael Govier, and this is the Pallazzo Podcast. 2 L's, 2 Z's. Yes.
Great job.
Great to see you. Sorry I've been gone, man. I've been absent the last 2 weeks. Just a lot of shit going on. I could fill you in, but you're not here for that. You're here to talk football. Week 5. We are live, and the waiver wire is cooking on a Tuesday night here. 2 L's, 2 Z's, where you find us 24/7, 7 days.
Give me 2.
Yeah, wow, dude. 2 days a week. 2 L's, 2 Z's, 2 ads. Maybe no ads this week. Is your team perfect? Is it flawless? Hey, look who it is. What's up, number 1? Suck it, haters. Brian, welcome. Are you talking about college football? Perhaps? Joe's here. What's up, Joe? Hey, Gov. Hey, Joe. How are you, Joseph? Good to see you, even though I don't literally see you. I see your name. I know it's you. Mwah. What's going on, man? How your bets been? Robert, oh my God, look who it is. Robert, I haven't seen you in a hot shit minute, I don't think. What's going on? How'd your baseball season go? Baseball season, regular season's over. My Tigers, woohoo! Yay!
About a 9 on the tension scale, Rube.
What do you mean? That's not true. No.
Go Tigers!
Tigers won today. They beat the Guardians in a crazy-ass wild card game. That was tons of fun. I watched every second of it. Woo! I cannot believe Jose Ramirez, a veteran, supposed Hall of Famer, as Todd Frazier referred to him today on the broadcast. I mean, I'm not saying Jose Ramirez isn't a Hall of Famer, but I'm not sure it's crystal clear. I mean, he's a legend. There's no doubt about it. Infinite Pilot's here, and he wants to just cut the shit, or she, or whoever you are. They want to cut the shit and get into it. And I hear you. Let's do it. Do I start Jamar Chase? I don't know, man. You know, this is classic, the number 1 pick. When are we going to learn the number 1 pick? Don't take the number 1 guy as the number 1 pick the following year. Last year was Christian McCaffrey. He was a hot choice for number 1, and then it all went to hell right away. This year, Jamar Chase loses Joe Burrow. Even though when Joe Burrow got hurt in that game, I think Chase had 15 catches with Jake Browning. So it still looked like, okay, the Bengals will suck, but at least Chase is going to get his. And now it's like, shit.
Can't do it.
Cannot do it. Mike Singletary saying it clearly.
Can't do it.
I hear you. But they're playing my Lions, my Bozo Lions, this Sunday at home. And, you know, the NFL, even when it looks its worst, it never gets that bad because it's all got to go back and forth. A team's too good, they got to play worse next week. Team's too bad, they got to play better the following week. I mean, 2 weeks ago, we had the Falcons lose to the Panthers 30-0. That really happened. That was a real thing. Yeah. And the Panthers suck.
You're going to get all in your face and point out your fault.
The Panthers suck. We saw that this past Sunday in New England. They're not good. They're terrible. But they beat the Falcons 30-0 because of game script and just weird shit happens in the NFL. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Blip, can't trust it. This is the can't trust it league, man. You cannot trust this league. So I expect Chase will probably have a better game because my Lions, they're playing well, but their defense can be exposed, and they've had defensive back injuries here. So the Lions are going to go into Cincinnati with some injuries brewing. We don't know the status of how that will play out just yet, but that's good news for Jamar Chase. So all of this to say, Infinite Pilot, yes, I would. And not even you got to start your stars. I'm just telling you that I think this is a good matchup, and Cincinnati eventually has to play better. They played the Denver defense, who kicked their ass, and they played the Minnesota defense. Those are two really good defenses the last 2 weeks. Let's be clear about that. Detroit's defense is not on the level of either of those two teams, and I'm confident in saying that. As a local, too. Lock me in, okay? So there you go. Hey, Mikey's here. What's up, Mike? I won my first game last week, 1-3. Everyone follow the GOAT Gove. Mikey, good to see you, brother. Mike did text me on Sunday morning, and he asked me a start-sit question, and I told him, I have to be honest about this, right, Mike? I wish you were here to talk about it. I told him to bench one of 3 guys, and one of them was Egbuka. Yeah, I told him, well, you should probably bench Egbuka, because I don't like the matchup. I'm worried about Baker's bicep.
Wow, dude.
So I'm glad you started him. He didn't listen to me. Good call. It was him, Keenan Allen, and somebody else, right? And I just thought the other 2 matchups were really good, and I outthought myself on that one. But that's why you listen to what I had to say, but then you make your own choices, just like Mike Virginia did, the legend himself. He doesn't need to listen to me. He knows what he's doing, okay? Make sure you guys follow Mike at _Mike VA. Mike will be back in the mix eventually. He's still being the good father we all know him to be, and the baseball season's over, so that's a wrap. And we'll get a little dose of him from football side of things here and there. He'll still be around, but make sure you follow him on Twitter X at _Mike VA. A good man and thorough. Follow everybody in the Pallazzo Galaxy of Stars. Robbie Baseball, Big Gentle Ben, Benjamin Chase, Britton Allen, 2 T's, 2 L's, my guy.
Utah.
And Sam Wirsching, who's not on Twitter, so it doesn't matter. It's a lot of fun here at the Pallazzo. We have a good time. Who did I miss? It's me, Mike, Robbie, Sam, Ben, Britton. I got them all, I think. That's everybody. Great. All right, so now back to our regularly scheduled broadcast. Joe was saying, I got nosed out on the last day for the RCLs overall at Rasball. I ended up 4th overall. Nice job, Joe. All right. Round of applause for our Pallazzo Posse member, Joe, who's always here rooting us on and being a part of things and participating. Joe knows what he's talking about, too, so listen to him. People in the live chat know what they're saying. They really do. Depends who else you got on the Chase thing, right? I called that Giants upset. Way to go, Joe. Nailed it. Boop. Be careful of those 0-4 teams. You damn right. A desperate NFL team is a dangerous thing. They got to get off the schneid, right? Everybody knows that. Joe says 4-4 on 3 Survivor entries. All right, hanging in there. I've been pretty lucky with Survivor this year. It seems easy. Last year, I think I was out of the contest I play in. I play in something, I bet you this before. Newcomers, it's called the Pentathlon. It's 5 events wrapped into one overall thing. So you got the Best Ball, you got the Superflex League, you got DFS every Sunday, you've got Pick'em. You pick against the spread every game in the NFL. And then, of course, Survivor. Those are the 5 events. The last year in the Survivor event, I think I was out by now. It was terrible. I think I took the Bengals in week 1. Remember they lost to the Patriots at home last year? They were out. But this year, I'm just picking the teams that are playing the Saints, and they keep winning. So I'll just keep doing that for a while until that wears off. Robert says, what do you think of Woody Marks? Here we go. I knew this Woody Marks was going to be a hot topic today. And here we are at 9:23. Yes, I'm going to try to write this down for once because I don't always get a chance to do this. Woody Marks is a guy who I think we need to slow our roll on a little bit. Now, the Texans finally got a win, but they crushed the Titans. They didn't have to use Chubb much. It was 26-0. It was a shutdown defensive dominance victory for the Houston Texans. But Marks did outsnap Chubb 56-42 in that game. However, that offensive line sucks. I don't trust it at all. I think anybody who's trusting, you've heard the stories. If you're paying attention to fantasy football and you know NFL, the offensive line of Houston is a Garbo nightmare. And Marks had 17 carries for 70 yards. That's not a great rate. He did have 4 catches for 50 yards, which is nice in PPR. He has more value. Woody Marks does. 2 touchdowns. Week 5 may be something completely different. But it seems like week 4 was the week of backup running backs having multiple touchdowns. Justice Hill also had multiple touchdowns for the Ravens as Derrick Henry disappeared. At any rate, I think Marks, you should slow your roll on and kind of wait it out and see what happens. I'm a little concerned that was a fluke. Now, they got Baltimore next, who's really struggling, and then Houston hits the bye. So at Baltimore's a good matchup. That run defense can be had quite well most of the time. The Ravens are not a team to be feared. We all know that now. You said I had him and I dropped him to grab TJ Hockenson off waivers. Is he worth a 400 or 600 fab left? I don't need him, but is he worth the bench piece? He's certainly not worth that much at all. You can add him as a bench piece, but I wouldn't put a ton of money on it. I'm telling you, I don't trust that Houston offense, so I don't think you should either. Mike wants to know, which defensive special teams do you like this week? Jacksonville, Cincinnati, Seattle, or Indianapolis? Jacksonville has the Chiefs, right? And let's see. Let's go to the tape here. We got buys this week, by the way. Our first buys of the season are here, everybody. Everybody loves buys, don't they?
Go Chargers, go.
I don't know if the Chargers are on a bye this week. I think they play, there's a juicy game. I think it's the Chargers and somebody fun. Atlanta, I think. It's a lot of fun, actually. That's a fun game. I'm looking forward to that game. I want to see that. The Colts have the Raiders at home, and Jacksonville is taking on the Chiefs, as I said, on Monday Night Football at home. And nobody walks into Jacksonville and walks away with a victory, right? Or Seattle, which is taking on Tampa Bay at home. So all 3 of these teams are home. The Raiders are the worst of the 3, right? I like Jacksonville's defense the best of these 3, maybe. Certainly Seattle and Jacksonville are 1-2. I think Indianapolis' defense is a fraud. And even though that game was 20-20 last week with the Rams, and they ended up winning on that miracle Tutu Atwell 88-yard touchdown late in the game, I don't think the Colts are as good as advertised. The Rams proved they go up against a good team, you lose. And I was not surprised by that result at all. No. So I'm going to say Seattle with Tampa going on the road up to the Pacific Northwest. I'd probably go with the Seattle D this week. That's my first choice. But if you have an inkling that the Raiders are garbage and Indianapolis is going to shut them down, again, remember, the Raiders are desperate now. They're 1-3. It's looking real bad. Wait, who do the Raiders beat? They have 1 victory? Shit. I'm not even sure they won. Who do the Raiders beat? Anybody? I don't remember a Raiders victory. So the Raiders, God, are trash. Brock Bowers is killing me this year. Brock Bowers it was so clear to me he would score a touchdown against the Chicago Bears of all teams. And he couldn't score a goddamn touchdown against the Bears defense. Come on! It was a buzzkill. Big buzzkill. Okay? Joe wants to let you know, this is for Robert, follow up on Woody Marks. I grabbed Marks last week because I didn't want to start Bill, and that was awesome. Congratulations. Our buddy, JCM Bill. Yeah, that's right. Definitely get Marks. Looks like he's taking over. Well, I'm not sure of that. I'm telling you, we'll see what happens there. I don't trust that offensive line, and I've said that 10 times. I'm not going to say it again. Tristan's here. What's up, Tristan? Someone offered me Jefferson for Irving and A.J. Brown. What do you think? Woo! So I would not give up Bucky Irving. I love Bucky Irving. He's one of the best backs in the NFL, bar none. And I wish I had more shares, and I hate myself for not having them right now. I do.
Wow, dude.
So I wouldn't do it. No, because I'm not giving up on Bucky Irving. That's really that simple, okay? Joe says, I don't think Mixon is coming back. They're about to amputate the foot, it seems. Robert says, amputate his foot. And Joe was saying, I was just joking. But yeah, I'm not worried about Mixon at all either. Mixon's a lost cause this year. Get out of here. Get out the hair clippers, you jerk. It's not about Mixon, and it's not about Chubb. I just think having a Houston running back is going to be a challenge this season, no matter who it is. Nick's here. Nick Casino with 2 S's. Casino it. Remember that joke David Spade did a long time ago? That movie Casino. Yeah. I already casino it when it was called Goodfellas or something like that. I shit the bed on the joke. I blew the delivery. Hey, someone just offered me Rashee Rice in a third, 26th third for BTJ in my 10-man. My wide receiver room is solid with London and Garrett. I just don't want to regret it. So someone offered me Rashee and a third for BTJ. I think Rashee Rice is just as good as BTJ in terms of what you'll get in production. When he comes back on the field and he's fully healthy and he's got Pat Mahomes throwing to him, that's something you want to be in business with. I want to be in business with Rashee Rice. I do. Don't you? I love BTJ, but I'm not so sure that's a simple slam dunk call. Really don't. I mean, are you trying to win this year? I think you're saying it's keeper, right? Oh, it's not. Oh, wait, but it was a 26th third rounder. So you're not saying if it's keeper or not. I would like to know if that's a keeper situation or not, my friend. Please let me know on the Pallazzo Podcast Live. 2 L's, 2 Z's. I'm MJ Govier, Michael Govier. Follow me everywhere and have a laugh. Diego's here. Diego, how you been? Diego, did you hit the like button? Are you subscribing to the YouTube channel, people? Can you just hit the like button and subscribe and tell 100 people to do that right now? 3, 2, 1. Do it. Done. Would you trade Javonte and Marv for CD and Montgomery? Javonte Williams, who's scoring touchdowns for Dallas on a fun offense this year, and Marvin Harrison, who I drafted a shitload of this year. He's getting ripped on, Marvin Harrison Jr. is, because there's been some drops and people aren't thrilled with his play, but he's still producing. Maybe it's not elite wide receiver 1 production, but it's still producing. You can get CeeDee Lamb, who's got the ankle issue, and David Montgomery. No, I wouldn't do that. Nope. I love CeeDee Lamb, but we got to see how the ankle injury affects his situation. Plus, Dak is throwing to everybody all over the place. Pickens, Ferguson, even Tolbert, Turpin. I mean, they got a lot of guys they can mix it around to. Of course, CD will be a focus when he's healthy on the field. But Javonte scoring touchdowns this year. He's clearly a focal point in the red zone for that Brian Schottenheimer offense. That vaunted Schottenheimer offense in Dallas. But I can see if you want to get CD and it's worth it to you, go for it. But Montgomery, I never trust him as much as my pal Mike Virginia does on this show. He loves Montgomery, always has. That's a tough one. That is tough. But I think I'd rather hold on to Javonte and Marvin. Yep, and that's my final answer. It's close, though. It's close. I'm just low on Montgomery, so people think, whoa, if you like Montgomery, you got to do this deal because he gets CD as well. It's a no-brainer. I think a lot of people might say this is a no-brainer to do the CD side, and I understand that point of view. I'm just telling you, you ask my opinion, and I'm telling you. You know, I've seen NFL games for 35 years now. A lot of experience. I've watched this shit. I've dealt with this shit, the trends, the ups and downs, the misery, the happiness, the joy, the victory, the tragedy. Man, we've seen it all, especially in Detroit. We have seen it all, folks.
Great job.
Nick's having a laugh, and Tristan says, thanks. Thank you, Tristan. Good to see you guys here. It's so great to be here with you all on the Pallazzo Podcast. Brian says, Kendre Miller will outperform Woody. Whoa, dude. Where are you getting that info, dude? Who told you this? Why wasn't I told about this? You know, the Saints lost to Buffalo last week, 31-19. Alvin Kamara, the starting running back, had 15 carries for 70 yards. He caught 5 balls. Kamara caught 5 balls 5 targets, 4 catches, 2 yards.
Wow,
you believe
dude.
that shit? Isn't that cray-cray? What's your Kendre point of view? I'd kind of like to know that. So Raiders beat New England. That's right. They came out week 1. Week 1 doesn't mean anything. We learned that in Detroit. Green Bay kicked Detroit's ass, and now Detroit's kicking everyone's ass. Week 1 is the most pointless week. It's absolutely week 4 of the preseason. We got to memorize that every single year. Don't even think about betting on week 1 NFL next year. Just don't do it. What do y'all think of Ollie Gordon? I like Ollie Gordon. He's a good back. You know, he didn't follow up his incredible year at Oklahoma State in 2023 so well last season. So it kind of hurt him with the draft stock, but Ollie Gordon can ball. You know, he's backing up Devin Achane. So there is limited opportunity, but, you know, Ollie's getting some snaps, right? Let's take a look at the Monday Night Football where the Dolphins beat the Jets. We lost Tyreek Hill, by the way. We should mention that. That's not really even news at this point. It's Tuesday night. Everyone knows Tyreek Hill and Malik Nabers are dead. If you don't know that, welcome to football.
Great job.
Okay, so those guys are gone now. It's a fantasy passing, as I call it. They moved on in this fantasy life, and we will not see Tyreek Hill or Malik Nabers. I happen to have both those guys on one of my teams, and that's a real bummer, but I also have Igbuka and other guys, Jameson Williams, that I can slide in still. So I'm still hopeful there, not terrified, but those are big hits. Big hits. So snap-wise, Alvin Kamara had 73% of the snaps last week against Buffalo, and Miller had 31. I'll share with you guys, not just read it from the screen, so we can all participate. There you go. There it is. Shout out to the football guys who provide this wonderful page of info. So wonderful. So appreciative I am here at the Pallazzo Podcast. Thank you very much. So there you go. It's been the same split the last 2 weeks. Looks like 70-30 at best between Kamara and, let me get this comment out of here. Whoop. So, where was this? I want to bring this back up. Oh, there it is. Kendra Miller. Yeah. So, Brian, did you answer me? No, he just kind of mentioned that and left, Brian. Where are you? I want to get feedback on that. I see no reason why Kendra Miller is going to be more involved unless I miss something. There's no injury that I'm aware of for Kamara, so I don't know where you're coming up with that. But I love the idea. I love a concept. I love a fresh take. Rendon. Hello, Rendon. That's a new name. I don't think I've ever met anybody named Rendon. Hello, Rendon. Good to see you. You subscribed? You liked the video? Would you rather drop Iomanor or Franklin for Diggs? Fire Callahan's ass. Fire Callahan in Tennessee. That guy sucks. Also, I would tell you this. Remember how the Vrabel thing ended and how they fired Carthon, the GM, on a shorter term run where it didn't really last that long? I think Tennessee is right there with Carolina. Two of the worst franchises in the NFL right now in terms of how they're run and the structure and the chaos. They drafted Cam Ward, which was an easy call because they had the number one pick. I love Cam Ward. I really do. But he's getting hurt right now by this terrible team around him. The offensive line, the coaching, it's all shit. It's got to go. Callahan's got to go, but I don't think even if Callahan is gone in Tennessee that you're going to get any clarity because the people making the decisions in Tennessee are not to be trusted at this time, in my view. I would need to see something to change my mind. Having said that, everybody and myself, we love Iomanor, but I like Franklin still, Troy Franklin in Denver. I do. Water break. So, the Titans, they got to win someday, right? Oh, God, the Titans. This week, the Titans are taking on the Arizona Cardinals on the road in Arizona. So after getting pounded in Houston, now they hit the road to take on an Arizona team that did not play that well in the Thursday night game against Seattle. Disappointing, I would say, is a good word for it. But I'd like to have Iomanor there in that situation, even though I like Franklin a bit more because of the structure. I trust the structure of Denver's team, right? Iomanor is a kind of a lone man out there. I mean, Calvin Ridley, I told you guys, no thanks. I don't want anything to do with Ridley. And, I mean, there's just not a lot of hope when it comes to the Tennessee passing attack. So I guess it's Iomanor, but maybe there's some other options besides these. I don't like Steph Diggs. I didn't want Steph Diggs this year at all. I was totally out on him. Coming back from an ACL, he's older. Just wasn't interested. So I don't like the situation for all three of those guys on the screen here. That's bogus. Oh, shit. Did I miss this? Is Irving hurt? Fuck. Is it that bad? He's among the list of players who sustained an injury. Bulls implied that Irving is one of multiple players awaiting MRI results, but he declined to offer specifics. What? He didn't offer specifics? Irving's had a heavy workload this year. Sadly enough, doesn't have a rushing touchdown. He has 2 receiving touchdowns. But I still like him a ton. And the fact that it's undisclosed, this is the NFL. It's almost Wednesday now. Give me some updates on this. What the shit, man? Boo! Not cool. Not cool. I still like Bucky Irving, but obviously if he's out, then that changes things. That changes the whole situation we were talking about. Obviously. Yeah, here's what happened to Bucky Irving. The Bucks' first official... We're not going to wait till tomorrow to find out what the hell is going on here. The second-year running back left the field in the final seconds of the first half after taking a big hit from a linebacker. Okay. Irving returned to the field in the second half and played out the rest of the game. Yeah, so I'm just going to wait to see what comes out in this because that's strange to me. Robert says Marvin needs a taller quarterback. Uncle Ted's here. What's up, Uncle T? Where's that $100? I need that $100 on that Chicago White Sox bet. You can Venmo me. In fact, all three. You can Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. All of our usernames are right down here. So it's real easy to find how to send me money. Thanks. Woody Marks is Le'Veon Bell 2.0. All right, well, we'll see about that. I'm not saying he's a bad player at all. Woody Marks is talented. It's just the offense around him. It's football. It's not just baseball where a guy can hit a home run. The good PR, the bad UT. Rendon says, also, would you trade Chuba and Chase for JSN and Kamara? Chuba and Chase for JSN and Kamara. I would. I absolutely would do that. Yes. Absolutely. I don't love Kamara, but he's in the lineup every week. He gets volume, and JSN is going to have his best year yet. I'd love the connection between him and Darnold. I would absolutely do this deal. Yep. Call me crazy. Some people might say it's a buy a low spot for Chase. I could see that argument, of course. But I just love JSN so much, so I'd feel more comfortable having him in my lineup every week as opposed to the nightmare in Cincinnati. Ollie reminds me of Derrick Henry a bit. Whoa! People are throwing out all kinds of crazy shit on this show today. Boop, boo! What else? We got Frito. Here's a newcomer. Fredo, what's up, Fredo? Hey, Opa! Would you trade Rice, Debo, Chase Brown for CD and Henderson? Rashee Rice, Debo, I love Debo. Chase Brown having a rough go of it. Terrible offensive line for CD and Henderson. Yeah, I can see that. I love Debo this year. I think he's heavily involved in this offense, and he's having a bounce back. He's healthy right now. I love Debo. I really do in that Washington offense. But CD Lamb is CD Lamb. And I love Trevion Henderson. I mean, I'm a Henderson guy. Henderson came through for me on Sunday. I had him in a 5-leg parlay. Never do 5-leg parlays. It's so stupid. Lock me in. But I did it. Trevion Henderson was part of that to score a touchdown, and he did. He didn't have a big rushing game against Carolina. I just said Carolina. Carolina Panthers. Carolina. The Carolina Panthers.
Wow, dude.
But as far as this trade, yeah, man, everyone's looking. There's a lot of deals involving CD Lamb tonight. I find that interesting. I like Rice, Debo, and Brown it's going to be a rough year. I think CD, if he's healthy, is unstoppable, of course. But Pickens is a real factor now. Pickens is going to have his say as a compliment to CD. I don't think it's just all volume for CD. It's not 16 targets, 10 catches every week. I don't think it is. And I don't think that's just recency bias either. I don't. And my voice got higher, so now you know I'm not bullshitting you. I can see hanging on to Rice and Debo. I really like these guys, but how long do you have to wait? Are you in crisis? What's your record? See, these are all things we need to know about. What's your status? Do you need to make a deal now to save your season? Are you 0-4, 1-3? Are you feeling it? Even at this point in the season, in the fantasy season, it's not over. It's hardly over. There's a lot of time left. Lot of time left, is there not? Okay? So there you go. These are some fun trades. I like what we're talking about here. Brian said Kendry Miller had high usage when he was in there, though. He looks so much better than Alvin. I agree with that. Alvin's old. It can't last forever, so that makes sense to me, Brian. I see your point of view there. Joe says, who would you add to replace Lamar? Dart, Tua, Rattler? Oh, I really love Dart. It's too bad he's got a hamstring injury. I'm sure he'll play against the Saints. In fact, Dart and Rattler are going head-to-head on Sunday. Talk about a showdown when Jackson Dart and Spencer Rattler go head-to-head on a Sunday afternoon. You stop everything you're doing. You don't make a move. You cancel all your plans, and you put your TV on that singular game, and you watch the shit out of it. Do you not?
Great job.
You do. I love Dart, but if his hammy's hurt, it's going to limit his running ability, right? And that's one of the things I love about Dart's game is he can move. He had 10 carries for 54 yards and a touchdown in the outstanding victory over the Chargers last Sunday. But if he's more limited that way, that hurts his value right now for me. I've had Rattler on certain Superflex teams. I've had him all season. I drafted him a couple times, even drafted him a couple of best balls on Underdog. But Tua, Tua's getting the job done. He's still not hurt yet. He's still hanging in there, holding on for dear life. And, the Dolphins are taking on Carolina. That's a great matchup. So it's on the road in Carolina. I can see Tua. Tua's a safe play here. But if Dart is healthy enough, I like Dart more. I really do. But that hammy screws everything up right now. It's a total buzzkill. It is. So, wow. All right. So we got lots of commentary in here. Oh, Britton's here. Wait, Britton. What up, Gove? Uncle T. Joe. Oh, Britton's talking to everybody in the chat. What's up, my man? Britton. Love you, my man. Miss you. Hope you're doing well. Me and Britton are going to be live in Arizona in 6 weeks. First pitch Arizona. If you don't have your tickets, if you're not going out there, you're missing one of the best events of the year, bar none. Even if you don't even love baseball that much, it's just a great time. You get to interface with everybody. It's a very personal experience. It's a ton of fun. Get to watch Arizona Fall League games, live podcast. We'll be doing a live podcast. We got a lot of great shit going on this year. First pitch Arizona. Thanks again to the Baseball HQ people, Sarah Sanchez, so many people to thank and shout out. So there it is. All the shout outs to you. We love you all. And I'm looking forward to that, Mr. Allen. You know I am. Okay, so Uncle T brought up Isaiah Bond. Now, this is a guy, I mentioned him. I haven't been on the air in 2 weeks. My bad. But I did mention him on one of those shows earlier in the season to keep an eye on. And he's getting more and more reps, and now he's becoming one of the go-to receivers on a terrible offense in Cleveland. Dylan Gabriel's in now. That's the other thing, too. If you like Dylan Gabriel, it looks like Dylan Gabriel's going to start against Minnesota. That's in Europe. Those are two defenses, Minnesota and Cleveland. It seems like it's going to be a defensive battle in that game. And I think the under on that game was really low. It was like 37 when I checked yesterday. Which, by the way, on the Patreon, I do first impressions on college football and NFL on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then I come back on the weekend and give my final impressions of the games and things I like and football rankings. I'll be working on tomorrow. I'll be uploading my Week 5 fantasy football rankings, positional, every position with color-coded Govier's guys, notations, bye weeks, who's hot, who's cold. All this stuff is included when I post my rankings by each position. I don't do defense. I just do the big four: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. Patreon. Pallazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's. It's a lot of fun to be a part of things, isn't it?
Utah. Give me 2.
Okay, so I like Isaiah Bond a lot. I think he's a guy you want to add this week. I really do. Pro Isaiah Bond. Add Isaiah Bond. Thank me later. This guy's supremely talented. He just caught up in some bullshit. Kind of like his teammate, Quinshon Judkins, who's now become the absolute must-start stud. And I got to give a shout-out to Taco. Yeah, shout-out to Taco in my Scott Fishbowl league. He was like the biggest Judkins dude when we did the Scott Fishbowl draft live back in July. Was it July, I think? July 18th? And he was there live and having fun. And he was like, Judkins. And it's paid off because at the time it didn't look good for Judkins. But he is the absolute man in that Cleveland backfield now. Way to go, Taco! Woohoo! I think your real name was Dylan. Do I remember these things? I'm just guessing off the top of my head. Robert says, I love it, Scattaboo! In my draft, I drafted Scat while Tyron was on the board still. Next drafter took Tyrone and... Are you saying Tyreek or Tyrone Tracy? Oh, Tyrone Tracy. Gave a look like, what the fuck? Way to go. Scatterbo, it was clear as day. This guy was just going to make an impact because he will not be denied. Scatterbo busts his ass so hard, he will not be denied. And I love it. I love it so much. At Arizona State, he was a factor, and now he's a factor. He got a huge carry load. This is the kind of guy, Scatterbo can get 20 to 25 carries a game and handle it. He really can. I love it. I'm all in. Give me all the Scatterbo in the world. All the Scatterbo in the world. Is it good if I trade Mike Evans and Wan'Dale Robinson for Zay Flowers? I feel like you're giving up a bit much there. I know Evans is hurt, so we're kind of chilling on that right now, right? But, if you want to, then go for it. I like Zay Flowers this year, and he's still going to get some volume. And Cooper Rush is going to have to depend on Zay Flowers, but Cooper Rush could be throwing it to a lot of guys now with Lamar Jackson out in Baltimore. I can see him throwing to Bateman and Flowers and Andrews. Isaiah Likely's back, so that also impacts Flowers a bit here too. You got to remember that. So I'm not so sure I would do this deal because in fact, I would totally not do this deal. I'm thinking out loud. I'm not doing this deal at all, Liam. No, Liam, no. No means no, and I'm not doing it. Lock me in. Because I love Wan'Dale Robinson, and with Malik Nabers out for the year, this is good news. This is Robinson opportunity. Mr. Robinson's opportunity. You're a scat man. Remember that song? What about Catmandu? But Catmandu! If you wanted to. Peyton Hillis? Wow, Peyton Hillis talk. Torrey Horton. Yeah, I love Torrey Horton, but it's all about volume and opportunity. Broly619. Yo, what's up, Broly619? Over on the Twitch side of things. Wow, what's up? We never get Twitch questions. Lose Nakua and Hampton, gain Barkley and D. Henry, non-PPR. You're trading Puka Nakua? I don't think I can see you're selling high, but Puka might be the best receiver in football. For real. And he's got Stafford, a legend, who's throwing the shit out of the football this year. I said everybody in the preseason anybody who asked me, nobody asked me very often anything. But when they did ask, I'm telling you, Stafford will be fine. I don't give a shit what you say about his back. It doesn't matter what injuries or uncertainty surround Stafford. When it's time to play, he'll play. And he always has. And look what he did. This guy's 37 years old. He was drafted in 2009. It seems like him as a Lion was a lifetime ago. He threw for 375 yards against the Colts in an outstanding victory, including the clinching 88-yarder to Tutu. I mean, it's incredible. Why did the Lions, looking back now, why could the Lions just reload and rebuild like they've done now with Matthew Stafford? Now, I know they got the draft package, giving up Stafford and bringing in Goff, also got an extra pick, which helped build where they're going or where they are now, right? I get that. But, if Matthew Stafford was in Detroit now with this team around him, they would be a Super Bowl lock. I'm telling you, there would be a big difference because there's a big difference between Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford. Did you not know that? Anyways, I wouldn't trade Puka for anything, even if you're getting Barkley. His year was last year. This year, it's just about winning a Super Bowl. I wouldn't want Barkley this year. I wouldn't. And Derrick Henry, Baltimore, it's a mess right now. I love Nakua. I don't like Hampton so much, but Hampton's the main guy now with Najee Harris out, so I'm not doing that trade. I'm not. Okay? Britton, I missed you, buddy. Malik Washington or Darius Slayton? Oh, also Britton said, Arizona, baby! Baby! It's for the local Detroiters out here. 101 WRIF. Baby! Maui time. Malik Washington or Darius Slayton? Slayton never goes away, and now that Malik Nabers is out, I think I'm going to go Slayton, even though Malik Nation. Malik Washington's getting a lot of the hype now as an opportunity, even though he didn't do shit against the Jets after Hill got hurt. Tyreek is gone. I'm going Slayton all day. I don't think it's that close right now. I really don't. Because the Dolphins still have Darren Waller, who scored 2 touchdowns, and everybody loves now, but I'm not so sure of that either. But they've got Waller. They've also got Nick Westbrook-Ikine, who was a freak last year, had the luckiest season maybe in fantasy history last season with his 9 or 10 touchdowns he had in Tennessee. But now he gets more of a role. So this guy's that Tua can throw the ball around to, and I don't think it's clear as day that it's Malik we got Jalen Waddle. He's not going anywhere, right? Oh, wow, I'm talking a lot. Good to see everybody here. Any commentary on this? Broly says, guess I screwed that one up. No, I mean, it's your choice. Did you end up making the trade? You traded Puka? I mean, I'm just saying I wouldn't do it. But that's your call. You might have a better record than I do right now in fantasy, right? Do you? Oh, man, we're having fun here. Pallazzo Podcast. 2 L's, 2 Z's. Water break. It's delicious. All right, back. Oh, Jimmy's here. I'm not a crook. What's up, my man? My main man in Delaware, Jimmy in the house. What's up, dude? I'm not a crook. Oh, man. Sometimes I think I miss Richard Nixon. I know, I didn't really think it was possible. Oh, I missed this one from Slapski. Slapski, pick a defense for this week. Slapski, are you subscribed? You liking the video? Are you being a good little person? Thank you very much. Pick a D for this week. Cleveland against Minnesota. The Rams in a Thursday night game against the Niners. KC against Jacksonville on the road. The Giants at New Orleans. Miami against Carolina. Houston taking on... Oh, shit, who is Houston? I already did this, didn't I? Who is Houston playing this week? Baltimore, that's right. I already covered this. I'm just thinking too many things at once right now. And then New Orleans, of course, against the Giants. I love Cleveland's D. Detroit. That Detroit game was 20-10 going in the fourth quarter, and then Detroit scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. It wasn't some clear-cut, dominance. I mean, Goff only had 168 yards passing against that defense. I'm going to go with Cleveland. Give me the Cleveland D, even though Minnesota, now with Jordan Addison back, I mean, that Minnesota offense has got all these pieces, but Carson Wentz is still the quarterback, and I'd like to see their offensive line situation. Who's starting this week for the offensive line with Minnesota? Because to me, I like Cleveland's D a lot, but I'm willing to take the Giants D as well, which I think is underrated I do like the Giants' defense, and I think in New Orleans they could cause problems. But if the game was in New York, I'd like their defense a little bit more, I think, just for the context of the situation. So, Broly says, I'm 2-2, so probably not. Oh, you're very much in the thick of things. So just stay cool, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. I have a thing where I've clearly stated that Puka Nacua is just a legend in his own time. And I just have to live by that and die by that credo. Okay?
Wow,
Britton says, when Waddle gets hurt, is Malik Washington Miami's number? Oh, you're funny, Britton, and there's some truth to that. That's for damn sure. Yeah, probably. I'm not sure. Maybe. He has a potential to finally be. You're right. So when Waddle gets hurt next, then yes, Malik Washington will be the number 1 wide receiver. Okay? We'll lock that in. Britton calling out the shots here. Make sure you follow Britton, guys. Also, our Discord. Britton's got his own channel. Yukon Cornelius talking that shit all day and all night. He's talking all kinds of stuff in our Discord channel. Totally free. Link is in the description. Please join us in there. We have a lot of fun talking football, baseball, random shit, French fries, onions, audio, cars. I don't know. All kinds of stupid shit. Whee! Oh, Dylan, you son of a bitch. How are you? Dylan's here. Trade offer 0-4. I was a Bengals owner. Nothing to lose. Dylan, I love your style. I love the intensity. Dylan, good to see you. I send McBride, Chase Brown, McConkey, Golden, or Pearsall. In return, I get. So in return, he's getting Brian Thomas Jr., Judkins, Kelsey, trash, Franklin, good move, full PPR redraft. Thank you for all the details. That really helps me. So he's got nothing to lose at 0-4. He sends McBride, Chase Brown, McConkey, and Golden or Pearsall. McBride, excellent tight end to have, right? Chase Brown, that old line, that offense, it's up and down. Detroit run defense, by the way, they can stop the run for sure. McConkey, Laddie, old lad McConkey, that Charger offense has a lot of fun, but McConkey has not really been able to put together an elite game this season. That's putting it mildly. He doesn't have a touchdown yet this year. In his last game, he had 6 targets, only caught 1 ball. Hasn't broke the 100-yard barrier in a game yet. So 4 weeks of disappointment. But up next for McConkey is Washington. That's hopeful. At Miami, Indianapolis, Minnesota, Tennessee, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville. I like the schedule upcoming. I think it's a good time to get in on McConkey, but you're moving so that you can get BTJ, Judkins, Kelsey, and Franklin. This is a tight one, man. McBride's a stud. Chase Brown, it's a rough year maybe. McConkey's got the best that's coming yet. I don't know if I'd give up on him. And Golden needs to get more involved if the Packers are going to be better offensively, in my view, even though Romeo Doubs is the man. I had Romeo Doubs to score a touchdown on Sunday night, but I had no idea he'd score 3. I was so certain he'd score 1 against that Dallas D, but I had no idea he'd score 3. Good job, Romeo Doubs. That was sweet as hell.
Wow,
that was really good.
Great job.
Outstanding work. In the end here, you got BTJ, Judkins. Those are special players to have. Would you really rather have McBride and McConkey or BTJ and Judkins is the question. And I think I'd rather have McBride and McConkey by a nose. But this is really, really close, man. I don't think there's a huge variance in that one. These are some tight-ass trade offers. Hey, Chad's here. What's up, Chad? Is Darren Waller suddenly a legitimate waiver ad? I mean, he scored 2 touchdowns, didn't do much else, so we'll see about that. I'm still dubious about that notion, my friend. Boy, you guys are so much. Oh, Apple's here. I see Green. Hey, man. Hey, Apple season's here. I love Apple season. By the way, Britton, I want to know, Britton, your answer on this. Your favorite apple. For me, the favorite type of apples are Granny Smiths. I love how tart they are. They're crispy. If they're not tart and crispy, I don't want them. But Granny Smiths, I'm a Granny Smith man through and through when it comes to apples. Hey, man, a trade question. Who wins this trade? Purdy and Achane or Benson and Allen? I'd be getting the Allen side. I also have Caleb Williams and Hampton as my other quarterback in RB2. Woo! So you trade Purdy and Achane to get Benson and Allen? I want that Allen side in a heartbeat. Lock me in. That was an easy one for me. I love Benson, and of course Josh Allen speaks for himself. I know Achane is awesome, but I'd rather have that side, and I don't question it at all. Okay? Yay! Robert answered this question too. Dylan, keep McBride and trade the rest, in my opinion. This is answering the trade that Dylan brought up. I love Judkins. I just traded Kyrie Irving, Chargers D for Judkins. You traded Kyrie Irving? That's awesome. He tore his ACL late last year, so that's probably a good move on your part. Robert says, I'm thinking with Tyreek hurt, they could lean more on the run with Achane and Ollie. They sure could, but Mike McDaniel, he just loves to throw that thing around. Uncle Ted says, Shedeur Sanders could be such a difference maker for the Browns. I actually don't disagree with that, Uncle T. I don't disagree with that. But, I don't know. There's something, why draft a guy? I don't know. Some weird shit going on there, man. Some weird conspiracy shit that I'm not even going to get into right now because I want to talk football. Patty! Hey, Patty, welcome. So good to see you, Patty. What's going on in your life? Fill us in. Make sure you subscribe and like the video. We'd love to have more from you, Patty. Would you rather trade away Kyren and Egbuka for Saquon and Trevion? All right. So you're trading away Kyren Williams and Egbuka, who are two great players, for Saquon and Trevion Henderson, or Cook and Diggs, or neither at all. My team is Lamar, Hall, Kyren, Amon-Ra, Nico, Warren, Rome, Egbuka. I love that team. Why would you? I'm making no moves. I love that team. I don't know why you want to get rid of Egbuka. He's not a fluke. The guy is the real deal. He's the offensive rookie of the year, in my view. And Kyren is always reliable. I trust him. I know he had a big carry season last year. And Blake Corum is, he's in the mix now a little bit more this year, which is good news for Blake Corum. But I could see if you want to do that for Saquon and Trevion being more reliable. I could see that. Just to fill in your running back situation a little bit better. But that's a pretty damn good team. I know Lamar's hurt. But there's got to be a quarterback. PPR, if it's not super flex, there's got to be a quarterback available. Cook is amazing. Cook is having a great season. And Diggs? Cook and Diggs? I assume it's just all about Cook, and then Diggs is just like, hey, why not? I don't want Diggs at all. Britton says, who's the better stash? Kendry Miller, Justice Hill, Kenneth Gainwell, or Sean Tucker? Whitest roster. Britton, I think it's Gainwell. They seem to really trust Gainwell. They like Gainwell. I mean, look at the snap share week to week. I know Jaylen Warren was out in that early Sunday morn with the Steelers and Vikings. Who loves those early European games? They're so much fun. So much fun. But as far as the snap share there, looks like Kenneth Gainwell. Well, the week before, he had 26% of the snaps against the Patriots. Week 2, he was more balanced. It was 58-42. Obviously, last week, it was 77% of the snaps for Gainwell. Now, with Jaylen Warren, we need to see what's the story there. Is he going to be back sooner than later? That was a late inactive, too. I know we don't need to get into that, but I was like, oh, shit. I was up, and I was at him, and I'm always up early Sunday, locked in on what's going on. And I'm glad I was up early because Jaylen Warren thing might have screwed me. But I think they trust Gainwell a lot. I do think maybe his 2 touchdowns were a bit more of a fluke in that game. Justice Hill, he's always there. It doesn't impress me. I think Kendry Miller has the highest ceiling of the 3. If you're looking for I love Sean Tucker, but I don't know what this injury is. I need to know what's going on with Irving. So I can't comment on that other than that I like Tucker. I like Miller, Tucker, and I know Gainwell's more valuable to Pittsburgh than he is to me as a fantasy player. That's how I feel about that. Yeah. Does that make sense? What are you guys arguing about here down in the chat? Oh, boy. Robert says, there you go, Apple, do it. Oh, so Robert likes the trade that Apple was presenting. Apple also said, yeah, it's true. I don't know. Achane has just been so good, though. So if you were listening or watching here earlier, Apple also said he's 1-3. And, he's asking Robert. You guys are just asking each other. This was going back to that trade where you trade Purdy and Achane for Benson and Allen. So I think it's a solid move, man. I know Achane is one of the best running backs in the league. In terms of fantasy, he's so valuable. And now they're going to lean on him even more. But, his injury history does give me pause. And I think I'd trust having clear runway for Trey Benson in Arizona, right? I don't care about the first game on a Thursday night. It didn't go that well. Benson didn't get a lot of carries. It didn't work out. But Connor's done. There's no Connor to be involved there. This is Benson's show. Although I do like DeMercado. I've always liked Amari DeMercado. He always he's hanging around. He does do that. But Benson and Allen, those are two solid pieces I'd like to have rest of the season. I really would. All right, so you guys are talking about... Britton says Fuji apples for me. Really? Fuji. See, I get really hazy on the difference between Fuji and Golden Delicious. Are they all red apples? And I know they're called Golden Delicious, but are they actually golden? I don't know. Fuji apples. Okay, I might have to try me a Fuji apple. Are those from Washington? I'd like to know the answer to that one. Okay. Wow, Pallazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's here.
Give me 2.
Britton Allen's asking Uncle Ted questions. You mind if I answer too, Britton? Would you drop Corum or Ollie Gordon for either Etienne of Carolina, Trevor Etienne, or Brashard Smith? So would you drop Corum or Ollie for either one of those guys? I would not. I like Blake Corum's situation there. He's primed to take over that role if anything happens to Kyron Williams. And we discussed on the show today, Ollie Gordon is, if they do a 1-2 punch with Ollie Gordon and Shane, that's going to be a lot of fun. I like what Ollie's doing in Miami. So that's my 2 cents. But I think that was somebody else chimed in on that as well. Did you not? Who was that? Can I get that response? Yeah. Okay. Oh, look at this one. Pickens and Iomanor for Scattaboo and Woody. Lily Baby Wah. Lily Baby Wah. On Twitter X. I love when we get questions on Twitter X. Thank you so much. I'm so YouTube-centric, so apologize. I do? No, I don't apologize. I mean, I am who I am, right?
I apologize.
Shut the fuck up!
Jesus. Wow, that's rude. Pickens and Iomanor for Scatabo and Woody. I'd like to have Scatabo. I really would. You're looking at a lot of volume there. I really am. No Tyrone Tracy. It's open road. I love Pickens, though. I really do. It's worked out quite well in Dallas. They're a lot of fun to watch. The offense is high-flying. They're not going to win as many games as they'd like to in Big D. Gosh, Iomanor, though, how can you be trusted with Tennessee week to week just being such a shit show, a catastrophe? I guess if you really love Woody Marks more than I love Houston's running situation, which I don't trust. Again, it's not about Woody Marks' talent. It's about the Houston running situation I don't trust. Then I can see why you do it. I would do it maybe just for Scatabo if I really need a running back. You're giving up 2 wide receivers or 2 running backs. So are you a little heavy in one area? I mean, I'd like to know that as well, Lily Baby. That would be very helpful. If you're still here watching over on Twitter X, which you can always watch us and follow us. Pallazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's.
Utah. Give me 2.
Okay, that's a lot of fun. Sup? Matty Wilkins in the his out. Sorry, Matthew. I shouldn't take liberties with your name, Matthew. I apologize. Should I trade for Devontae Adams? Most of my wide receivers are, I got like McLaurin and DJ Moore. Well, Devontae's got a little bit of a hammy issue, is it right? I mean, I know he played Sunday, but he was on the injury report. It all worked out, right? Because he had a touchdown, his 3rd straight game with a touchdown. So it doesn't really seem to matter. And now with San Francisco in a short week, you got to feel, these short week games, this is a big rivalry game. This is a big division game, too. Niners and Rams on Thursday Night Football. How many snaps did Devontae end up playing? Let's look at that. That'll clear the air here. Devontae led the wide receivers in snaps at 83%. So obviously that hammy must not be that bad of an injury at all if he could do that, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. I could see doing it. I love Devontae this year. I didn't end up getting enough shares because just of how each draft worked out. I was trying to be patient, but I thought Devontae in Los Angeles was such a beautiful match. McVay, Devontae, I mean, that is just what you want in fantasy. So hell yeah, man. McLaurin played out of his mind last year. Maybe got a little touchdown happy and lucky too. And DJ Moore and that offense of Chicago, you got to think there's more to come there. So I'm not abandoning all hope, but clearly Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze just love each other. I mean, Rome just keeps scoring touchdowns. If you had Rome and Devontae in the same team, every week they're scoring touchdowns. That's just what's happening every week. So I could see doing that, especially for McLaurin. I could really see that because I was out of McLaurin this year after last year. I just wasn't buying it. I wasn't trusting that it would go as well as it did for him last year. And obviously Washington has already had injury issues with Jaden Daniels, and things have been a little different this season. All right. Joe says, I feel like trading in football comes back to bite you. Get to the wire instead. Interesting philosophy, Joe. We will consider your words. Britt says, apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. Oh, that's a lot of fun. You're the best, Britton. Britton always makes me laugh. Yeah, that's an important trait. Joe's jumping in. Dylan Gabriel is 5'8". He can't play quarterback in the NFL. He's no Drew Brees. Locking you in, Joe. We'll remember that one, won't we? Right? Yes, we will. Oh, look who's in his house. Glenn. No, Gian. I thought that was an L. Gian, what's up, Gian? Hey, man, quick question. 12 team. Love the info here. Full context. Always helps the show. Always helps the answers. Currently 3-1. Sitting pretty. Very good. I lost Hill. Evans is injured. I have DK and a bye, so no wide receiver. Should I trade Henry and Evans for Chase, McLaurin, and Benson? I have Scatterbo and Gibbs as running backs. Those are great running backs. So you trade Henry and Evans for Chase, McLaurin, and Benson. I love Benson, so you're talking to a Benson lover. That's always going to tickle my fancy. I just said, I'm not a big McLaurin fan, so you already know how I feel about that. And Jamar Chase, this thing's got to get going eventually. There's better days ahead. Remember, Cincinnati's played tough defenses. So as I said earlier in the show, I can see buying low on Chase. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. You already have Scatterbo and Gibbs. I mean, you're sitting pretty there. I like the trade. I would do it. Yep, I'm going to do it. I'm going to lock myself in. Thanks, Gian. Good to see you here. Robert's saying, my team is 22-year league. 22 years of this league. Robert, what history, what tradition you were part of. So cool. 12-team PPR flex. Thank you. Mahomes, Benson, Judkins, Scat, JJ, Amon, Tyler, Marvin, Golden, Ayuk, Steelers D, and Philly D. Feeling good after a 1-3 start. Oh, hell yeah. The record, fantasy football, a lot of random shit happens. We all have been there. We know the deal. You got to stay true like Arnold did when the times are tough.
Go Chargers, go.
So go, Robert, go. We believe in you. I believe in you, right? XL's in his house. What's up, XL? May, Judkins, Chase for Lamar, Golden, Bill, T-Mac. Who wins that trade? Full PPR league. I love Drake May for fantasy purposes. I really do. Guy can play. Judkins is the stud running back now, bar none, even though he's a Buckeye. Really, he was only a Buckeye for a year. He was really an Ole Miss Rebel before that, so I'm not going to hold that against him too much. So many trades involving Chase again. Look at all these trades involving Chase. Isn't that cray-cray? Lamar, Golden, and Bill, T-Mac. Who wins that trade? I think it's the May side. And I think it's pretty clear. Yeah. PPR-wise, Chase is a buy low spot. Judkins is the stud running back. May is the excellent fantasy quarterback. I'll take May over Lamar right now, obviously because Lamar's hurt. But May's going to put up numbers. We'll see by end of season where May and Lamar rank in terms of fantasy points per game. I find that interesting. It depends if New England starts to lean on the run game more or not. But, I mean, Golden is a talent, and I'm excited about that talent. But there's still more that he needs to learn about this NFL game before he becomes a factor. That's how I feel about that. Uncle T says, go streaming from the Yukon with that hella neck. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that neck beard. Look at that. Oof. Who's in? Get in there. Still got some red in this beard. Still got it. Still in the mix. Still got it. Joe says, Niners are way too banged up for this short week. Yeah, I was surprised they started Purdy, but I guess maybe Mac Jones wasn't well enough to play either. Because I thought in a short week, the philosophy would be, well, we want to beat Jacksonville, but we've got a short week coming up with our division rival, the Rams, on Thursday, and that has to be the more pressing issue. So I commend the Niners for going all in to try to win. But it didn't work out. And with their injury situation, who is the worst training room between the Niners and the Lions? I've always said this most of my life. It seems like every year the Lions have injuries, and I've never trusted their training staff. Year after year after year, even back in the late 90s and the 2000s, there's always injuries, more so than it seemed like other teams were having. I feel like the Niners have a similar situation where, what's going on with your training staff? How hard are you pushing your guys? Are we living in an era now where, you practice too much? It doesn't actually help like it used to, or does it help to be more prepared, to have more contact, more physicality? Does that build up over the season, or does that wear you down? It all depends on the player too, right? It's an interesting part of fantasy that we can only go so far with. We only can go so far with. Robert says, awesome. Thanks for the positive vibe. Hell yeah, Robert. You're the man. You're the man. You're my guy, Robert. I make that clear. Benson is hurt too, though. Is he? What the fuck? Goddamn injuries are starting to pop up everywhere. I'm getting really annoyed by this. See, this is bullshit. Undisclosed again. He wasn't at Monday's practice. Undisclosed is literally what it says about Trey Benson. Fuck that shit. Fuck it. How's that for a positive vibe, huh? Britton says Browns defense versus Vikings or Colts defense. I love the Browns. Earlier in the show, Mikey, our pal, Mikey V. Britton, was asking about a couple of defenses of his own. I love Cleveland's D. I think it's one of the best defenses of football. Mason Graham and Myles Garrett up front. Man, that is just a deadly combo. And as I said earlier, even the vaunted Jared Goff could only throw for 168 yards against that Cleveland defense last Sunday. But it seems like everybody's liking the Colts D against the Raiders this week. But the Raiders can move the ball. I mean, I know the Raiders are losing, but they're moving the ball. Outside of that San Diego game, yes, I call them San Diego Superchargers.
Go Chargers, go.
Geno Smith has put up a lot of yards. He's just thrown way too many picks. And Genty ran 64-yard touchdown. That was awesome to see him have a 3-touchdown game and break out of his early career slump. So the Raiders can move the ball. I don't know why it's so... I guess the only thing is the turnovers. If you're banking on Indianapolis getting the turnovers and maybe scoring a defensive touchdown, I see that point. That actually makes sense to me. But I'm still a Cleveland D guy through and through. Tristan back for more. Hey, I got another trade offer. Here we go. Someone offered me Chase Brown for A.J. Brown. Ooh, that's simple enough. Wide receiver room is Marv Johnston. Quentin Johnson is outperforming Ladd McConkey, and it's not even close, really, this season. Is it not? Man, way to go, QJ. Metcalf, Golden, running back, only got ETN. What do you mean only got ETN, Saquon, and Bucky? What do you mean only? What is this, an 8-team league? That's a lot of running backs, Tristan. That's great. I didn't want to be in business with A.J. Brown this year because of the way Philly is. They're going to run the ball first. We've seen it. I don't need to explain it to you. You've been watching the NFL. You know what's going on with that team. But you don't need Chase Brown. I don't want Chase Brown. If you think it's a buy low spot, I think it's an offensive line issue that's not going to get better in Cincinnati. That's the problem. So unless, it's PPR and you want to get a lot of dink and dunks to Chase Brown, then he can rack up. I see that point of view, but I would wait. I try to trade A.J. Brown if maybe he goes off for somebody else because I like your running backs. ETN, Saquon, Bucky. I love those running backs. I do, Tristan. Hear me. Hear me now, believe me later. Michael Carter, says Joe, had a huge game when Connor was out last year. Yeah, I remember that. I'm actually a big Michael Carter fan. Really thought he could be something special in this league. He hasn't really worked out that way. But it's, he's third in the pecking order with Amari DeMercado being ahead of him in Arizona's backfield. XL says, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I have Bucky, JSN, but I lost Nabers, and my RB2 isn't the best. I've been relying on Trey Henderson. That's okay. Stick with Henderson. See it through. The best of his season is yet to come. I'm just feeling it. I drafted a lot of Henderson, and I'm sticking with it too. So join me, XL. You and I. We will stick this out together. Okay? Trevion Henderson will deliver for us. Robert says, Ayuk was like a round 10 draft pick stash. Being that I already drafted JJ, Amon, and Marv, I figured if he did come back, he could fill in the bye weeks. But he did just grab Golden off waivers if needed. Okay. Interesting. Thank you, Robert. Britton says, I got to run. Good evening, y'all. Love you, Gove. Love you too, Britton. Bye-bye. I'll see you in Arizona soon, my friend. Well, 6 weeks, 5 weeks soon. Tristan says, fair. Thank you, Tristan. I respect you. You respect me. Fair. Fair? Fair. Faldsy, 92. You know, the number 92 always makes me think of Rage Against the Machine. We move into 92. Still in a room without a view. That was 33 years ago.
Wow, dude.
Did you trade Henderson and Chase for Saquon? Look, Faldsy, to know me is to understand that I was out on Saquon this year. In terms of a top pick, I would have gone with somebody else like Bijan or Gibbs. Just because Saquon had such an incredible year last year, I just didn't feel like he could reach those heights again. Now, Philly wants to win a Super Bowl. And Saquon, let's take a look at what Saquon's been up to. We all know that his yards per carry is not what he'd want it to be this year, right? Let's go under the hood, as some people like to say. Why do you not like me, computer? Here we go. Okay, so taking a look at Saquon here on the Yahoo fantasy page. I'll zoom that in for y'all. 18 carries, 22 carries, 18. Look at that. Almost 20 carries a game, which you love. Has not been able to break 100 yards yet, although he scored 3 touchdowns in 4 games. We know he'll get the ball down the goal line. We know Saquon can take one to the house. As far as catching the ball, not a ton of action there, but about 4 catches a game, which in PPR, 1-pointers is useful. But let's look at the schedule. So Denver's up next. This could be a tough one on Sunday. Denver defense can play, and that's going to be a great battle between both those teams. Then he's at the Giants. Could light them up. Minnesota, that's tough. At Minnesota, that's not going to be easy. Then the Giants again. So Giants twice in 3 weeks. Then he's on a bye. Then he's got the Green Bay D, the Detroit D, the Dallas D. That's fun. Chicago D, that's really fun. Chargers D, I don't know if Chargers D is good or not. I'm not sure of that. Vegas, Washington, and then wow. That schedule looks pretty tasty. So if you're looking ahead to the playoffs and you're feeling good, and you trust that Saquon Barkley will just be the best of what he can be rest of the season, then yeah, okay. Do it. I understand why you're doing it. But I also think Chase for Saquon is a straight-up trade that should happen. I think it's a little too much. I don't care about value right now. You got to look at big picture. Henderson is a nice little extra bonus. But Chase for Saquon on its own, even without Burrow, I think that's still a 1-to-1 that should happen. Don't be a prisoner of the moment. Don't let them recency bias demons get you. They'll come after you. They'll get you. You know they will, Falsey. Joe says Mercado has never stayed healthy either, and he's more of a third down back. Well, you're not wrong, Joe. You are not wrong. Robert says, oh, here's a good one. Do you like McCarthy remainder of the season? You know, that's a good one. So we know Wentz will play one more time. Then the Vikings are on a bye, I believe, and then they come back. And I think the plan all along was to have McCarthy come back after that bye. I don't know. You know, I went to Michigan, right?
Wow, dude.
I went to Michigan. I'm a huge Michigan fan. I'm a Michigan guy, so go blue. I got a bit of blinders when it comes to McCarthy because I feel like this guy he's a born winner or he's a learned winner. He's learned how to win. The guy knows how to win football games. He's a winner. J.J. McCarthy can win. Now, for fantasy, that's a different story. We don't care about wins. We care about stats, right? So it doesn't matter if McCarthy can win a Super Bowl. It's can he put up points? And when you've got Jefferson and Addison, and then Thielen thrown in there, and then you got Hawkinson and Jordan Mason. I mean, this offense is fully loaded. Minnesota offense is the tits. They're jacked. You got to think that McCarthy's going to be able to do something with that. But I admit I got blinders on because I went to Michigan and I'm such a Michigan fan. So I feel I can't give you an unbiased opinion, although I always try so hard to be objective and fair. It's very important to me, always has been. I may look like a bozo, but I do have integrity, believe it or not. So that's a tough one, Robert. I feel you should ask someone who didn't grow up in the shadow of the big house. Okay? There you go. King Lamlu Lomeo. That's not an I. That's an I. It's not an L. Lomeo. King of Lomeo. Quick chat question. Would you trade Josh Jacobs? Wow. For Breece Hall and Ferguson PPR? I have no tight end. Really? In this climate, this NFL climate, 2025 fantasy football, you can't find a tight end that's on the waiver wire? You shitting me? There's some tight ends I like, actually. And I'm not shitting you at all, King. I like Theo Johnson with the Giants. He's widely available. Tommy Tremble. So Jatavian Sanders of the Panthers. He was out for an ankle issue, and I don't know what the deal is going to be with Jatavian Sanders for this week against Miami, but if he's out, Tommy Tremble is a great pickup. He scored a touchdown. Tommy Tremble scored the opening touchdown against the Patriots in that blowout loss to New England, but now the Panthers come back home to take on the Dolphins, and if Tremble starts, that's a great waiver wire ad for this week, right? And from there, you just kind of piece it together week to week. There's always an option, depending on who's on your waiver wire. I'd kind of like to know, because I feel like Josh Jacobs, Breece Hall in PPR has been able to be useful, right? He's getting 4 or 5 catches a game, which is helpful, but he hasn't scored a rushing touchdown. And with Justin Fields running how he runs, it's always bad news for Breece Hall's running prospects. So I'd rather not get in business with Breece Hall if I could avoid it. If I already had him, I'd live with it. But if I could not go into business with Breece Hall, that would be the preference. I'll tell you this, just as a side note, because I want to make sure I get it on the record. I have always loved Isaiah Davis. He's the backup running back in the New York Jets system. Now, Braylon Allen has got an injury issue. I don't think he's going to play in their next contest, which is against Dallas, by the way, which is a tasty matchup, of And that makes Davis the backup to Breece Hall. He's one away. So I really like Isaiah Davis a lot. I think Braylon Allen got all this preseason hype, but I've always liked what Isaiah Davis can do. He's from a smaller college, didn't get as much hype coming out in the draft, but they really like him. And if he can get some more opportunities, you could see, I'm telling you, this is a stash. Isaiah Davis has a chance to do something as a stash. And I just want to mention that while we're talking about the Jets and Breece Hall. So I just wouldn't trade Josh Jacobs. This is a guy who's scoring touchdowns every week for a potent offense. I understand you don't have tight ends, but give me another option. King, you got another option? Braylon Allen out for 4 weeks. Hall workload could be insane. I'm not so sure of that with Justin Fields still. That's the problem. That's what I'm saying, King. Justin Fields, he gets into the problem. He impacts the rushing situation. He scores rushing touchdowns. He can take off and run for a 45-yard touchdown. And I loved it about it. That's why I drafted Justin Fields in plenty of Superflex leagues, because I wanted to be in business with him, even though he had the concussion. I thought it was a decent bounce back, obviously, against the Dolphins. So, Joe agrees with me. Isaiah Davis is a good stash if Hall gets hurt. All right. We're on the same page, Joe. Woohoo! Joe also says, don't trade first or second rounders for a tight end. I agree. I think there's more tight ends. I want to know, King, if you can give us a couple tight end options on your waiver wire. I'd like you to give me the top ones and see if I can verify or not that they're viable, because I think there might be, depending how deep your league is, King, of course, right? Robert says, I live in the Buckeye. Oh, shit, Robert. Oh, shit. Buckeyes and Wolverines. What a rivalry. You know, I'm old now, past my prime, had a great ride in life, no regrets. Actually, I got a few regrets. I think when people say they don't have regrets, they're bullshit. They're not really thinking. They're not being accountable and honest about what they've done or not done. Yes, everything you do helps you learn about who you are and defines you and teaches you along the way. So I can see why you wouldn't want to regret that. But also having regrets means, like, if I had to do it over again, it would have been nice to maybe make that choice. That is possible. But I also see on the other side of the coin that some of the worst things that ever happened to me or that I ever did helped define my understanding of existence and gave me wisdom too. So I can see that why that would not be regrettable, even if it was a terrible thing, right? You know, I mean, I was addicted to opioids for years, and I was an asshole to myself and everybody else around me. And when I was doing it, I wishing I wasn't doing it while I was in active use. But years later now, I look back and I'm actually grateful for the lessons I've learned from my addiction days. It taught me things. So I don't actually regret it now. And so that's how I see how you could say I don't have regrets. I can see that point of view. Just want to let you know that. What a diatribe. Nobody gives a shit, Govier. Shut up and talk football. Joe says, don't trade your pieces. Work the wire, King. And Joe also says, Breece Hall has a lengthy injury history. You're right. Brian, you shitting me, Clark? You serious? You serious, Clark? That's so funny. Thanks for that, Brian. That makes me laugh. Oh, shit, man. Anthony says, where's Govier? I wasn't expecting Al Borland from Tool Time. Yeah, here I am. I don't think so, Tim. Tool Time. Tim the Tool Man Taylor.
Thank you, Jesus.
Maybe I need to run a check on this beard. Huh?
So you better run a check. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Wow. Clark, it's a gift that keeps on giving all year long. See, I love Cousin Eddie. So funny.
Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
Thanks, Eddie. Robert says, I'm actually just north of South Haven. Oh, yeah, of course. Michigan is a beautiful state. I know where South Haven is, of course, man. Born and raised Michigander. Robert, we're so close. We should hang out and watch football together and be best friends. What do you say? I'd like to do that. Bryce Long is here. Do I see a Maryland? Oh, hell yeah, Ravens, yeah. I saw, before I could see the avatar, I already saw that Maryland flag. There is no flag that is distinctive as the Maryland state flag. I used to live in Maryland for a couple years, Bryce. Shout out to Maryland and Baltimore area. Good times, noodle salad. Yeah, I lived in outside Annapolis, Cape St. Clair. Oh, shit, what was that place called? Severna Park. I can't believe I forgot. Severna Park. Wow, Pasadena area. Yeah. Glenn Burney, trade Henry for London. Yes, do it now. Do it now. I just love Drake London with Michael Penix. Again, that was a part of my 5-leg parlay winner on Sunday was Drake London to score a touchdown. It was Trevion Henderson and Drake London to score touchdowns. And then it was Atlanta and New England money line, which they both won. And then Houston minus 7.5, which they dominated Tennessee. I don't know why it took me so long, but it suddenly became so clear to me on Sunday around 12:40 p.m., 20 minutes before kickoff on the 1 o'clock game Sunday. I was sitting there looking at my DraftKings sportsbook on my phone. I'm like, you know what? The Houston defense is awesome. So even if their Houston offense can't do much, Tennessee sucks. And they're not going to do shit on offense. In fact, in another parlay that didn't win, I took Tennessee's total under a 15.5. I'm like, yeah, they're not going to score more than 15 points against Houston. And they got shut out. I don't know what took so long for me to gain the clarity on that, but I did. Bryce said, look at my logo, buddy. Look up the Ravens injury report. Anthony's also saying, hey, what a beard. Joe says, ladies love the beard. Well, I got a lady, but yes, they do. Yes, they do. Be careful. I've been threatened with death for saying I'll shave mine. What? How dare you? How dare you? Wow, dude. That's cray.
Wow,
okay.
dude.
All right, we got that one. Here's a fun one. Anthony says, are you going to FPAS? Of course I'm going to First Pitch Arizona. That's my thing, man. I never miss a first pitch. I've been there every year since 2021, and I'll be there again. Pallazzo Podcast will be doing a live podcast from First Pitch Arizona for the third year in a row. That's a great pleasure. It is such an honor. Thank you so much. Baseball HQ, shout out to those guys. Make sure you check out baseballhq.com. Check out the First Pitch Arizona thing. It might be possible to maybe still get a ticket. I don't know. It's at the Sheraton, where the Cubs play spring training. Right next to Sloan Park. That's where it is every year. It's a beautiful spot for baseball. I love it. Bryce says, yes, sir. Shout out Maryland. Hell yeah, Bryce. Now we're talking. Where are you at, Bryce? You in the area or you don't live in Maryland anymore? I'd like to know. Oh, wow. What is... What are your thoughts on trading away Jordan Mason for... No. I would never do that. I am so in on Jordan Mason. I want him. I want all the Jordan Mason shares. This is a rare running back who's got full volume and he's going to get the carries, get the goal line carries in an offense that has so much talent. I don't want to trade Jordan Mason at all, but just to hear you out, I'll finish it. So Jordan Mason for Godwin and Hunter. Fall out of love with Travis Hunter, folks. It's a mirage. It's not a fantasy. There's not a lot of fantasy value there with Hunter, so don't fall for that. Don't do this trade. Not for Godwin and Hunter. I like Godwin, and Godwin will get it going, especially with Baker, but I don't want to give up Mason, man. I just wouldn't do it. I would not do it. Brian says, love hearing about your journey to sobriety. Never feel like that's not welcome here, Gov. I respect the hell out of that. Booyah! All right. Locking you in. Thanks, Brian. Round of applause for us. Supporting each other. It's fantastic. Thanks, Brian. Truly, that's good shit, man. All right, we got a few more questions here. I'll get to them all, and then I think we'll wrap this up. I've already gone. Wow, hour 20. Wow. Huzz! 8-team half PPR. By the way, it's very important to me. Sobriety and being honest about it and not living with stigma at all, man. I will never let the stigma get in my face or prevent the truth from coming out, okay? It's very important to me. If you don't know me, just a little side note. We talk plain, we talk truthfully here. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to be a prick, but we're going to talk about the truth. We're going to be honest. We're going to be direct in the pursuit of greater understanding, okay? 8-team half PPR Superflex. All right, good information. I've got Dijon? Honey Dijon? Dijon mustard? I've got Dijon, Taylor, Nico, Jamar, Bowers, Rome, Judkins, Egbuka, BTJ, T-Mac, and Scat. My friend has Jefferson, Jacobs, Brown, Kamara, but needs receivers after Nabers. He wants to do Jamar, Egbuka, and Scat. Jamar, Egbuka, and Scat. Wow, I like those guys. For Jefferson, Rice, and Brown. Or he'd do Nico and Judkins for Jacobs and Rice. Do I do either? Wow, so he wants Jamar, Egbuka, and Scat. I don't want to give up Scatabo, and Egbuka is not a fluke. The guy can play, and he's got Baker Mayfield throwing it all over the place. I mean, that's a great situation to be in, is it not, right? I love it. I love it so much. So I don't think I want to give up Egbuka or Scatabo. I mean, I need to say this again because this has come up a lot in the show today, and I know, Huzz, you might not have been here earlier. You might not have been here earlier, Huzz, and that's okay. Can't be omnipresent. But I was talking about how Chase Brown's offensive line is a problem. And though I really was liking Chase Brown in the preseason, I kind of changed my mind as I started to draft more. I was like, this whole line's a problem. And, Burrow can sling it, so I don't know how much he's going to dink and dunk to Brown in PPR. And I just kind of fell out of love with Chase Brown. And I'll give shout out to Christian Crespo, who's in our Discord. Christian is an excellent Dynasty player. Shout out to Christian. Make sure you check out his channel. It's in the Discord. It's free. He does Sunday morning start sits as well in our Discord. Christian Crespo is a good man. Please check him out. And he was off Chase Brown, or he had him down in his rankings, I remember. And I noticed that in our preseason chats where he had him, I think he had him like the 8th or 10th running back. He wasn't in the top 5 to 7. And I thought that was interesting. So no Chase Brown for me. I'm out on Chase Brown. I don't think it's a buy low. I think it's a rough spot this year for him. I really do. There could be moments, but I would rather hang on to the guys you got, I think. Jamar has got to play better here in terms of what Browning can get him the ball. But again, that offensive line is an issue. But the Bengals will probably be losing a lot, too, because their defense sucks. So even though the O-line's not good for Cincinnati, they got to scheme ways to make it more opportune for Chase to get the ball in his hands, even if it's in quicker routes, slants, screens, drags, anything like that. Not a full drag, because that would take longer to develop. But, I mean, just quick moves, quick plays, quick play designs to get Jamar Chase the ball more. But it doesn't always work out that way. You can't just scheme it up and change everything in a heartbeat either, right? Robert says, LOL, that would be cool. All right, my man. We got a date here. D. Henry or Judkins? Well, let's not go too far here. I'm sticking with D. Henry, okay? God, I'm so thirsty. I'm not going to go that far. I'm still going Derrick Henry. It's a better offense. It's just a better setup. So I'm not going to go that far. I'm not. Anthony wants to know, Saints beat the Giants this week? I think everyone's assuming if the Saints are going to win, this will be the week. But I'm not so sure. We'll see. The Giants have a discipline set up where if they keep things simple, they could beat the Saints. So it's not clear cut to me. I'll tell you that for sure, Anthony. I'm not sure about that one yet. When do you trade a player who is good to add depth? Example, James Cook. Well, I think a guy like that is, first off, Xavier. Great to see you here. Is it Xavier or Xavier? Xavier Worthy, Xavier McDaniels, Professor Xavier. I think with a guy like James Cook, you want to keep him all year because he's on an excellent offense. He's given volume, right? A lot of opportunity for Cook, too. So it's all about those factors. If it's more luck-based where a guy is touchdown dependent with Cook not getting... If Cook wasn't getting the snaps, and you're like, wow, he's really just touchdown dependent. But I don't believe that's the case with a guy like Cook using this example, right? I mean, James Cook, 73% of the snaps last week, 67, 47 before that, but I think that was a blowout, right? Cook is their guy. Now, if there's other cases like, I don't know, who's a good example of somebody? Let me look up some of the scoring here. Who's overachieving? Just so I can give you a good example here of what I'm talking about. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to pull up these stats here. So bear with me. Now we're looking for a player who's tops in fantasy points, at least in this league. These are how the fantasy points are shaken out. Bozo Fest, that's me. Hey, I got Puka Nacua. He's the highest scoring non-quarterback in this league this season. Way to go. Me. Puka's not a fluke. Cook is not a fluke. Taylor, not a fluke. There's volume. These guys are snaps and volume dependent. All these guys are. Javonte... Maybe he's the first. He's got 4 rushing touchdowns, but he's got 63 carries, too. So he's getting the volume. So I'm not going to call that fluky either. Rome Odunze, he's got 5 touchdowns. Now, this might actually be an example. I really like Rome. He's supremely talented. But this is one example where maybe a guy you sell high because he's overachieving. No, he's got the talent to match his stats. But it's more about what is this guy going to continue to do? Also, Xavier says, Xavier. Thank you, Xavier. Yes, like the X-Men. Xavier, got it. But my point being is, Rome Odunze is really talented too. So I would, even though if he's getting touchdown-dependent breaks, he's still a guy that has a lot of talent, and I wouldn't trade that talent because of the scheme. And Chicago could be losing games where they throw more. So it's all about scheme, talent, luck, all these factors I'm putting into play. Quentin Johnston. This is the first name on the list where you're like, wow, this guy, he's got 22 catches, 300 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I would sell high on him thinking maybe he gets a little lucky in that offense, but he's also got a quarterback that's reliable. Like you trust Justin Herbert, you know what I mean? So it's all about all of those factors and putting it into place. And then you look ahead like, well, if this guy didn't score touchdowns, would he still be racking up points? Is he still getting touches? That volume is everything, right? It's all about volume. That's so important when you're talking about some guys like this with that question. So great question, Xavier, which was, when do you trade a player who is good to add depth? That's all about your situation and what you try to achieve with your team. Are you trying to secure a bye? Are you just trying to make the playoffs? Is it dynasty? Are you just trying to build for next year? Are you trying to build a better roster, sell high now? A lot of factors. So that's why we always appreciate as much information as you can give me here. Me, Michael Govier, serving at your pleasure, and then I'll try to respond best I can. Thank you, Xavier. Matt C., panic meter on Derrick Henry. Man, we got a lot of Derrick Henry fear. I think we need to slow down. Think about this. Baltimore faced Buffalo, Cleveland defense, Detroit, and Kansas City. These are some of the best teams in the NFL outside of Cleveland, right? And Derrick Henry already has 3 rushing touchdowns and almost 300 yards. Now, I know that first game was monstrous, right? He had 170 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns. Then Cleveland defense totally shut him down. That makes sense to me. Detroit defense is actually pretty good against the run, but they didn't give him the ball enough. He had 12 carries for 50 yards, did score a rushing touchdown. And then last week, I think it just was like, fuck it. I don't know what. Lamar gets hurt. They just kind of mailed it in. I don't know. It was weird. Last week was even weirder. All this to say, I'm going to say, slow your roll on panicking about Derrick Henry. This guy can still ball. He showed it in week 1. he's scoring touchdowns still. So I'm going to say it's pretty low still for me. Okay, and that's what you're asking, right? Jalen Warren or Woody Marks rest of the season? I'm going Jalen Warren. Now, this knee injury, is it serious? I need to know more about the knee injury. But if he's healthy and the knee injury is not a factor rest of season, I still like Jalen Warren more. I do. But call me crazy, especially in PPR. Hound House, hey! Oh, I wish Britton was still here so we could talk about the Ho House. It always comes up when Hound House is here. Good to see you, Hound House. Would you drop Godwin for Wandale? I would not. I love Wandale Robinson. I'm a huge Wandale Robinson guy, but I'm not dropping Godwin with Baker in that situation. I'm not doing that. Especially Mike Evans is out right now, so Godwin should be able to get going here. Now, they take on Seattle next. That's a tough matchup. I love Wandale a lot. So if you're asking me, I still think I can't advise that you drop Godwin for Wandale, but it's not a terrible idea. There's some merit to this. It makes sense to me, okay? Anthony says, I won my ship. Thanks you for all your help all year. The favor you promised, you fulfilled. You helped me win the ship I haven't had in 16 years. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Anthony, I love you, man. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you won. It was rough. I mean, those playoffs were tight, man. I know you're going back and forth. Was I going to take this title or not? He has a long playoffs. He has like an ALCS, and it was going through the whole thing. It's very cool what the league sounds like to me, but you won, and that's all I care about. I'm so happy for you. Now you can rest. Rest easy. I know you're got an injury too, so rest up and feel better, my friend, okay? Congratulations. I'm thrilled. I'm so thrilled. It makes everything we do here, that's what it's all about, for real. Yeah, definitely enjoyed the talks and that you were doing great. You were awesome. Well, so were you, Robert. Thank you, my man. Huz says, my team's kind of stacked, so I'm thinking of giving up depth for an upgrade. Oh, yeah, I could see that point of view, too. Your team is looking real good. Ked Carr says, I'm 3-1. Should I trade my wide receiver 4, Waddle, and wide receiver 5, Higgins, for Rashee Rice? Yes. Yeah, I think I would do it. I think Rashee Rice, when he gets back in this Kansas City offense, he's going to light it up. He's going to be awesome. I really think that. And with T. Higgins having the uncertainty, it's a real bummer. And Jalen Waddle, I like Jalen Waddle. I drafted Waddle a few times this year. I was thinking it would go well. It's definitely his show in Miami, but he's inconsistent. He could get hurt. I don't trust him enough. I know this is a lot to give up, but I would do this, Ked Carr. Good to see you here, Ked Carr. What a name. I love that. Very cool. Exile says, my heart won't let me trade away McMillan. Would you trade Lamar and Bill for May and Judkins, or is that not enough for Lamar? Yeah, Ted McMillan doesn't have a great quarterback. Sorry, Chad. I know you're in the chat. I saw. Chad, do you still like Bryce Young? Is the party over on that? Let me know in the chat real quick. Chad also says, is Justice Hill an RB1 if Henry's washed? I don't buy that. Justice Hill's always kind of been around. I respect him, but I don't think he's that good. But, I've been wrong before. So, Hartwell, let me trade Ted McMillan. Would you trade Lamar and Bill for May and Judkins? Lamar and Bill for May and Judkins. It's not. I like May a lot. I've said this on the show today, and I've told you Judkins is clearly the man in Cleveland. So, Judkins over Bill, yes. Lamar is better than May, but Lamar's out right now, and if you need to win, I said this early in the show, how much. This is the second time I've had to bring this up, and I think we're going to stick with this comp. What will be the fantasy points per game difference end of season between May and Lamar? Can't wait to see how that plays out. Let's lock that in. Make sure we write this down because, man, it's going to be interesting depending when Lamar returns. Now, points per game, he could easily outdo May as long as he's healthy. But I like May in that offense. May can move like he's growing. He's growing right now, and this is a big year of growth for May. And I think you're going to like having that in your fantasy team. It's crazy to trade Lamar for some people, but I could see you doing that. I really could. Robert says, in that Ravens-KC game, they did not use Henry, and he's been fumbling. What's up with that? Right, yeah. No, the fumbles have been a huge talking point on all the shows, and we're all talking about the fumbles. No doubt, Robert. I get it. And his use was strange in that game. Also true. But there's something weird going on with Baltimore. But Derrick Henry's still a talent. So unless somebody had sex with someone's wife or something, is this like a Delonte West LeBron situation? Somebody had sex with someone's mom and Man, that kind of drama will just ruin a team, right? I mean, that'll just make life hard for everybody. Good God in heaven. Wow, dude. Wow. I don't know if that's the case or not, but I'm kind of curious. Xavier says, it makes sense. Problem with my team in a 10-man FPPR, I'm 2-2, and I have no bench. So Josh Allen, Cook, Omarion, K9, love K9, Sharbs, Mott, BTJ, Ridley, McBride, Golden, and Tootin. Also have CD, who's out. Oh. I see the depth issue. I just got offered J-Mo and Mason and DJ Moore for BTJ, Mont, and Ridley. I love Jameson Williams, but he's so dependent on like big plays, deep balls. And those plays can go either way, and sometimes he drops it. Sometimes Goff underthrows or overthrows him, and it doesn't work out. So J-Mo is so boom or bust. He's such a best ball guy. For redraft, week to week, in a regular redraft league, he has all the talent in the world, but with Amon Ra, and also Laporta, by the way, I haven't mentioned this. I drafted Laporta a lot. I thought Laporta would have a career year this year. It was all going to come together. But he has not scored a touchdown through 4 weeks. He's not being favored. It's a real bummer. Laporta's out there. He's blocking. He's doing his part there, but the production is not there. And my second favorite tight end of the preseason, Tucker Kraft, I should have drafted him more than Laporta, apparently. But is it a buy low time on Laporta? I think it is. I think they're going to realize with the play action and Laporta and how in the middle of the field and what he can do, there's production to come here. So I'm buying low on Laporta. No one's mentioned his name today at all. I guess nobody cares. But that's a guy, if I was looking for a tight end, I'd try to get him. If someone's had enough of it, go for it. Xavier also says, I also got offered MHJ, Sutton, Henderson for BTJ and Golden. So a lot of offers for BTJ here, it seems. The JMO one, I'm not sure I can do that. I'm just not sure I can do that because you're giving up BTJ. I can't do it. I love Mason so much. I love Jordan Mason so much, but I'm not sure I can do that one. And then this one, I love MHJ. I drafted him a lot this year. He's one of my most drafted wide receivers, if not my most, actually. And then Sutton and Henderson. I'd kind of like to have those three guys for BTJ and Golden. In fact, I could see doing that trade because Sutton is underrated and Knicks looked much better against Cincinnati. So hopefully that connection will be more consistent going forward. And then you got Henderson as a running back that I like. Marvin Harrison Jr., Cortland Sutton, and Trevion Henderson for BTJ and Golden. I'm doing that. I'm going to do that trade and lock me in. So you come back and tell me if I'm a doofus, Xavier, but I would do that one. Robert says, DJ Moore needs to get traded to the Steelers. Yeah, DJ Moore's been rumored to trade everywhere. Kansas City needs a wideout. Steelers, yeah. A lot of talk about DJ Moore. Okay. Oh, here we got one more, and then I'm going to leave. Bronson Hio. How you doing, Bronson? Make sure you subscribe, like the video. I mean, come on. We got all this chat. We got hundreds of people watching. I only see 2 likes on the video. We could do better than that on YouTube. Can you like our video, please? Thank you. Trade Devontae Adams for Drake London or A.J. Brown. I do it for London. I wouldn't do it for Brown because I don't know that Brown is going to be consistently useful to you. Now, you can look at the playoff weeks and, will Philadelphia throw the ball more during those weeks? We went through Saquon's schedule earlier. But I just don't want to be in business with A.J. Brown. It's too much uncertainty, too much inconsistency. Am I wrong? I know you know what I'm saying here, Bronson. Plus, I love Devontae Adams and Drake London. So if you want to do Adams for London, I could see you doing that. But Devontae's got a sweet spot he's set up in. And even with Puka getting a lot of volume, Devontae's there to take the pressure off. And that makes that offense almost unstoppable. The Rams should have beat Philly, by the way. That was some dumbass shit. Xavier says, sub, by the way. Thanks for the advice. Hell yes. Xavier, I'm telling you, we got a great crew here. The live chat is always bumping. And we're at your service. We serve the people. We give it back to you. The people, right?
And that's all I have to say about that.
As my friend Mike Virginia would say. Anthony says, if you ever need a draft proxy, I'm your guy wherever you need me in New York. Yes, I know you are, Anthony. Thanks, brother. You're the man. Brian says, thanks, Goves. Great show. Leaving a like on the way out. Thanks, everybody. Oh, great gift, Dad. All right, there it is. Pallazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's.
You talk. Give me 2.
I'm not even sure. I'm not sure if I'll be doing the Sunday morning shows. I haven't really done it this season. because I'm doing my own work and I'm really grinding on Sunday mornings. So don't quote me on that. But as far as the Waiver Wire show, we're always back. We'll be back here next Tuesday, absolutely doing our thing, just like we did here. I was out of town, had some shit come up in life, so I missed last week. Please forgive me. I really like doing this show. It's a lot of fun. And maybe we'll hop on for another one later in the week before the weekend comes around. In the meantime, Discord's free. We got a Patreon. If you want to get more involved and you really want to support the show, support what I do here, always appreciate it. You guys are awesome. This was a shitload of fun. Thanks for being part of the show. For Brenton and Mike and Robbie and Ben and Sam and everybody in our world of shows, the Pallazzo Podcast, 2 Wills, 2 Z's. Thank you so much.
Give me 2.
Time to turn it over to the man himself, Mr. Hucket Chucket Football. Where'd he go? Wait, did we get rid of Hucket Chucket Football? Oh, no! I guess I deleted that one. Well, just pretend that the guy from Zach and Mary Make a Porno saying Hucket Chucket Football all night. Appreciate you, Gove. Great show. Have a great night. Thanks you, Robert. A Buckeye. I respect you. I am going to the Ohio State Michigan game, by the way, in November. It's at Michigan this year. Going to be there live, and I'm looking forward to seeing Bryce Underwood get his first ever victory against the Buckeyes. Yeah, Tigers won today. I mentioned it at the beginning of the show, Anthony. I was super pumped. It's a hell of a win. Hell of a win. Great job, A.J. Hinch. Tarek Skubal tied the Tigers' all-time record for Ks in a postseason game. 14 Ks, baby. Woohoo! Loved that. God, it was so much fun.
Go Tigers.
Especially against Cleveland. All right, Cleveland, you can suck it. Go Tigers. Bye-bye.